Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me. I'm Julia DeMacos, also known as the Gardening Girl, and tonight I'm here in my gardening room about to sow some seeds to grow on in my greenhouse. So I'm going to show you what I do. Now the reason I'm here is I want to get some videos on how I sow my seeds. So I have a lot of videos where I talk about transplanting, I talk about potting up, but I haven't really filmed any videos showing how I sow my seeds. So tonight I'm going to be showing you how I multi-sow in a seed tray. And then I've also shown you previously how to pot up from that. So I will post a link above. So definitely check that out. So tonight's plan is I'm going to be sowing seeds, early spring crops to grow on in the greenhouse. It's only the end of February here in my Zone 5A garden, and it's too cold to plant out in the garden, but the greenhouse is just fine. So in about 4 weeks from now, I'm hoping that these little seeds that I'm going to plant tonight will be ready for transplanting out to the greenhouse under a cold frame to get some early spring crops started that I can enjoy and pick way before the gardening season begins. So I'm going to turn the camera and I'm going to show you how I seed so that maybe you can take some examples of that for your own planting now that we're seed starting. And anyways, I'm going to show you how I multi-sow so maybe you can use that technique as well. So I'm using this seed tray here to sow my seeds, and I've marked out rows using this little device here. And it's like this piece of wood, and there's an edge here that I use to push down and mark down the rows. And in those rows, I've sown my seeds. And I've done 2 rows already. This first one is purple bok choy. The second row here is baby turnip. And now I'm going to do the next row. So arugula will be the next seeds that I do. Okay, and I'm gonna start sprinkling them into the row. So here I'm going to pour the seeds into my hand. There they are. Actually, there's not a lot in this packet, so I'm going to put them all in my hand. Okay. And I'm just going to very gently scatter them into the row. Now, these seeds are a few years old, so I am going to put a few extra in the row because I'm not sure the viability rate at this point. Now, had these been fresh seeds, then I would have sown maybe less thickly, but I put quite a number in here. Now, I already have my tag marked, okay? And I'm gonna place it here in the row. Okay, and I'm gonna close the row just by putting my fingers together and pushing the soil together to cover it. It's exactly like sowing seeds in the garden, actually. It's exactly how I would do it. So this is my mini garden bed where I'm doing this exact same thing. Because these seeds are not tiny, they can be buried under the soil about a 1/4 inch. So the row marker that I have, I use this edge here, and it's about a 1/4 inch. So that worked out perfectly. I'm gonna do another row. This here is cornflower, also known as lamb's lettuce. And it's a really good one to sow when it's cold outside. It doesn't like heat. And you can see here that the seeds are a fairly good size. So because these are old seeds as well, I'm just going to sprinkle them in the furrow that I made previously. And so later on, once these seeds germinate, I'm gonna prick out the strongest seedlings. I don't need to keep all of them. I only need to keep the ones that are the strongest seedlings. I don't need to have like 100 or 50 seedlings of corn salad. The same thing goes with the rest of the seeds that I'm planting. So then you want to put the rest back in the seed packet. And they're in now. And there's my seeds. I already marked out my plant tag like so. Put the date. I'm going to place it in the row so I don't lose track. Taking my fingers again. Just going to push the soil together and cover the row. Now I'm going to carry on, and in this section here I'm going to put 4 types of lettuce. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows left, and I'm going to sow 4 types of lettuce that will be perfect for the greenhouse to grow on in early spring. So that's how you multi-sow seeds in a row in a seed tray. And it's a really easy way to do it. It's the way that I prefer to sow when I want to sow many varieties or many seeds and I don't want to take up a lot of space under the grow lights. This way I get to grow out only the seeds that are the most viable, the strongest, the fastest producing, and that's really the plants that I want to grow. I want to grow out the healthiest plants in the greenhouse or in the garden. So by doing it this way, by multi-sowing in rows, I get to grow out and select the strongest seedlings, knowing that those will perform the best. So it's planted. I'll show you what it looks like. That's it. And I actually decided the last 2 rows, rather than putting 4 varieties of lettuce, I chose a spinach, and as well I chose a kohlrabi. So that's what it looks like. Now, the soil is already damp and I just want it to get a little bit more wet, so I'm going to set it into the tray, let it absorb water from the bottom, and then I'm going to take my dome and I'm going to place it over top. I'll show you what this looks like so, and leave it. I don't need to put it under the grow lights right now because the seeds are buried under the soil, so they don't need to be exposed to light just yet. But as soon as I see signs of germination, I will remove the dome and place the tray under the grow lights and then let them grow. In about 4 weeks, they should be ready to transplant out. In about 2 weeks, I'll be potting them up into individual seed trays or seed cells, and then in about 4 weeks they should be ready for transplanting out to the greenhouse. They won't need any hardening off because they'll go into the greenhouse, which is protected, and as well I have cold frames in the greenhouse and they should be fine underneath those cold frames. From any drop in temperatures in the evening, they should be just fine insulated for any type of temperature swings. In the daytime, I open up the cold frames when it warms up. In the nighttime, I close them. And they should grow fairly quickly because the daylight is longer at this time of year. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please be sure to give me a like. As well, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified of any upcoming videos. I will be showing more videos on how to plant seeds in a seed tray, so that way you see specifically what I do. I also have plug trays that I use for flowers. I will be showing you how to do that as well. Hope you're all doing really well, everyone. Happy gardening, happy seed starting, and I'll talk to you all again really soon. Thanks so much. Bye for now.